Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. This is part 2 to my rap video, yo! Not like that though, a rap video about the vehicle wrap on my truck. So I split this video into 2 parts. This part 2, is kind of opinions and thoughts and lessons learned and that kind of stuff. Part 1 was like more questions and answers and facts, and this is how much it'll cost, and this is how long it'll take, and this is the process. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. Part 1 up here. Most of that was over at Front Range Auto, where my friend Anson, a professional, helped answer a lot of those questions. I am not a professional. I don't wrap cars for a living. This is the only vehicle that I've ever had wrapped, but I will learn a lot through my experience. I'm a guy that learns through experiences, which we'll get into in a little bit. So later in the video, I actually asked a handful of my friends to film themselves talking about their experience with their vehicle wraps. So I have some guys, some friends in my life that have more experience with vehicle wraps than I do. So I was like, hey, it'd be a cool opportunity for you to get on camera, talk about your wrap. So that way this video can be like multiple perspectives, not just my own. So later in the video, I'll link it down here when we actually get into those. But I have AJ, he's Fotornr on Instagram. He had an OD green 4Runner. He had that wrapped for a number of years and now has a big old Dodge Prospector XL that is also wrapped in OD green, so he has quite a bit of experience. My other friend Travis Hess, he currently has a crazy Tundra. Before that, he actually also had an OD green wrapped 4Runner, a different one. So he has a number of years with vehicle wrap experience. My buddy Brad, Trail Recon, as you guys probably know him on YouTube, he has a Wrangler Unlimited that he got a custom design wrap for, so it has like his logo and some other stuff in there. He's gonna talk about his experience. And then my friend Graham over at GFC, Go Fast Campers, he has a crazy Ford Raptor, super sweet wrap on his truck that he'll talk about that as well, which is fitting because when I decided to get my truck wrapped, it was at Front Range Auto at a GFC meetup. That's where I met Graham, and that's also where I met Anson, the guy that owns the shop that did my wrap. So which kind of brings us to the beginning of the wrap voyage. For me, the wrap journey was at this meetup. Graham didn't have his Raptor there, it was just it was a Tacoma. But there, I was talking to Anson, the owner of the shop, and I was like, hey, what do you guys do here? And they do like, you know, a lot of stuff, detailing, hail repair, and they also do vehicle wraps. So I was like, hey, I had been kind of wanting to get a vehicle wrap for a while, so I picked his brain for like an hour. He just answered all my questions, and we were going back and forth. And I was like, man, I have a lot of questions, but a lot of people have a lot of questions. We should make a video answering all those questions. So that's what part 1 in a card up here. Part 1 of this video is answering all those questions that I had and that I know you guys had. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a wrap, but what color am I gonna do? I really wanted to do OD for a bit. That was like the 2nd place contestant because I'm a fan of OD, you guys probably know. But the thing that really had my heart was Multicam Black. I had a relationship with Multicam, so they kind of pseudo-sponsored the material cost of the build. I'm not going to go into the details there because it's not something they do regularly. I don't want you hitting up Multicam because they don't do that stuff. So I'm not going to talk about that, but they did kind of hook me up, just full disclosure, because they're friends of mine over there. They're like, that's a sick project. We'd like to see it through. And we worked together on kind of some of the details on the 500% scale and worked on that together. Rad dudes over there, rad camo, rad company. So I went with Multicam Black. I've been a fan of Multicam Black forever. I have it, my apparel is done in Multicam Black. My holsters that I sell, LLOD.US. You can get a bunch of Multicam Black stuff. I have a bunch of bags in Multicam Black. Everything I can get in Multicam Black, I've always liked it. So it made sense to do my truck in Multicam Black. I went with a scale, 500% scale. So basically, the Multicam that you see on like a jacket or a pair of pants or a backpack, that's 100% scale. That's just the natural size of Multicam. You could scale it down for like a small sticker. My stickers that I sell, those are 50% scale, so like a mini Multicam Black. You can scale it up, 300%, 500%. This is 500%, which typically will look bigger on a larger format thing like a vehicle. So this is 500%, 3M official multicam black from Imagecraft. So yeah, why did I do a wrap? I did a wrap obviously because it looks cool. That's honestly, full disclosure, one of the main reasons I did it. I wanted it to look cool, and in that hipster fashion, I wanted to be different, right? That's what they say, I wanted to be different. And there wasn't a lot of multicam black vehicles out there. I wasn't the first one though. Rich at BTX had his Fotornr multicam black wrapped. There's another guy that got his wrapped around the same time, just a little bit before me, but mine was like underway, I think, maybe, I don't know. Mankind, he's got a Raptor that looks sick. So I wanted it to look cool. Multicam black was questionable though, because in pictures, you can probably see it here. Yeah, you can. So right on here, there's like a sheen. So when there's light on it and reflections, it's like, is that silver? Is it white? Is it gray? I don't know, but the matte nature of the material kind of has this sheen that I didn't really like. I still don't really like it because it doesn't, you know, doesn't look dark and multicam blacky. So in the photos I saw of it, I was like, some photos look really cool and some photos look like this, and I was like really concerned that I might not like it. But I love it. But that is an issue to note with probably any matte vinyl that you're gonna go with, but specifically for me, multicam black. The darker vinyls are gonna look they're gonna reflect light even though they're matte. It doesn't completely make sense, but it kind of does. So that's one thing to note. Something I hear all the time now is when people see me in real life, like on a trail or at a gas station or an event like Overland Expo, people will always say, like, almost the first thing they say about the truck anyway is, man, it looks so much better in real life, in person. And I think that's largely due to just the nature of how cool the wrap looks in person versus like in a photo. Like a photo just doesn't capture the radness of the wrap. Not to toot my own horn, but just an FYI, if you're thinking about it, you're like, I don't know how it looks. It looks better in real life. Okay, so I got the wrap because it looks cool. I wanted it to look cool. And then a secondary reason, which is probably should be a primary reason, is a primary reason for a lot of people, is that it protects the vehicle. So you'll see a lot of supercars getting wrapped, and it's because it protects the paint job underneath and because it looks cool, but it protects the paint job underneath. If you are in an area that they do like clear bras on vehicles, so to protect from like rock chips and sand and that kind of stuff, like they do them on all the cars in Colorado basically. You can think of it like that. It's protecting your paint, but around the whole thing. So that's important for off-roading because you have branches that are scratching, you have extra rocks that are shooting up, mud that's shooting up, all kinds of stuff. So you're protecting it from that kind of stuff. You're protecting it from UV damage to your paint as well. So you're doing it because it protects the paint underneath. So it looks cool and it protects it. And then for me personally, I had a third reason that probably won't apply to most of you. But I have this weird obligation to transfer knowledge. So I learn a bunch of stuff through experience typically, and then I relay that information to you guys. That's kind of the nature of my YouTube channel. I'm not an expert at everything. I'm not an expert at most things, but I do love to learn, and I do love to learn through experience. So all these questions that I answer in the previous video, I'm gonna answer more of them as I have more experience. How does it hold up to a full Colorado winter? How does it hold up to all of this sand and salt? Can you really drive through car washes that often? How does it hold up to the sun? How does it hold up, this is the big one, to the pinstriping that you're gonna get on trails? I can only answer these questions through experience. So a big reason that I got it is for the experience, so that I could answer these questions both for myself, that I would just know it, and then answer it for you guys. So that's what I got going on. It stresses me out a little bit, like I'm still a little bit worried about scratches, or a little bit worried that it's gonna peel up at a car wash, or a little bit worried about this, and you wanna take care of it more. So you wanna wash it more. You don't want like bird poop to sit on there, and you don't want salt to sit on there. So you wanna wash that kind of stuff off. They told me washing it, the more washing it, the better, but you don't wanna be too crazy. You don't wanna get a pressure washer in because you can peel the edges up. You don't want to do a drive-through car wash because all of these brushes are doing all kinds of crazy things. They're basically trying to grab the edges of the vinyl and rip it off. I've gone through some drive-through car washes against recommendations. and it's held up fine so far, but I'm not gonna be regular about it. I'm just gonna do it once in a while, probably when I'm kind of lazy. So I am hand washing my truck a lot more, which is a pain because I'm pretty lazy with that kind of stuff. But a lot of people that are wrapping their vehicle really love their vehicle. Like I don't love my truck that much. It's just a truck to me. But probably a lot of people, and this isn't meant as like a backhanded insult at all, but probably a lot of people that are gonna be wrapping their vehicles really love their vehicles and really care for their vehicles and really just wanna wash their vehicles every day or every week or whatever. That's not me personally, but that affects me, but it probably won't affect a lot of you. So if you guys love your vehicles, which you have every right to do, then it might not be bad hand washing it. You might actually like enjoy that kind of stuff. But for me, that was like an added thing that I didn't really think about too much before I got it. But after I got it, I was like, oh, now I gotta wash my truck more. So yeah, I've been talking for a while. You're probably sick of it. Let's go ahead and cut over to some of my friends. They'll talk about their wraps and their experiences with wraps, and then I'll help close it out here at the end. All right, AJ, take it away.
All right, guys, what's up? We are here on Mike's channel talking about wraps, and I think I've got some pretty good experience with them, and the experience has been great. The Fotornr's been awesome. I've had it for 2 years. It's been wrapped, and I've beat the heck out of that wrap. Basically through elements of snow, ice, dust, dirt, mud, just crazy stuff that like has been just on that wrap, and I'm so surprised that it's lasted as long as it has and is held up as well as it has. Like, there's no rips, there's no tears. The only tears, or I should say anything that came through, is when I was up against a rock wall with the weight of the truck, and of course anything's gonna tear, like paint or anything like that, but vinyl, yes, it's gonna tear. But like, so surprised, so stoked on how well it's held up. Two different things. I did wrap this truck in a matte vinyl, where I wrapped the Fotornr in a satin vinyl. And I did notice that the Oracle or Oracal or however you say it is a bit thicker, where the 3M stuff I feel like is a little softer, or like not as thick, maybe a little thin. And it's just different. Like when I took this truck off trail, I went through a few bushes and there's definitely pinstriping on the truck already, which is fine. That's what it's there for, and that's why I got a wrap, is to protect the paint. So it gives you a cool color, it protects the paint, you get some uniqueness out of it, and you basically just strip it off if you ever want to change the color in a year or 2 or 3. I wouldn't recommend that. Probably stick to like a year and a half, 2 years. And yeah, a couple things. Make sure the shop knows what they're doing. There's a couple questions you might want to ask if they're using knifeless tape. If they're not using knifeless tape, basically what that is, it's wire in tape. So when they lay it down, they put the vinyl over it, and then you cut over it, or not cut, you pull the wire and then it cuts to the vinyl, opposed to using like an X-Acto knife on your paint, that type of thing. So just ask the shop if they're doing that. Make sure, this is the hard part for me, this truck was 800 miles on it and they had to strip the whole thing. That freaked me out. Anything you take apart, I don't feel like it comes back together correctly, and that sucks. The guys did a great job, and the truck is solid still, and it's great, but just make sure they have some experience in what they're doing before you just be like, oh, I'm gonna go wrap my truck. Yeah. Other than that, I think wrapping a truck is awesome. It's very expensive, I would say, for a 2-year turnaround, so it depends on what you're trying to get out of it. But it's better than painting the truck. A lot of people ask me, did you paint it? Why didn't you paint it? Painting it probably been like $5,000, where a wrap is anywhere between $3,000 to $6,000. It just, to me, a wrap is just easier, and just, in my opinion, I can change the color in a year or take it off and just have a totally fresh look. Other than that, yeah, I think wraps are rad. Protect it, wrap it, do whatever, wrap it up, you know, whatever. But yeah, man. Thanks, Mike, for having us on this video. I really appreciate it. And if you guys have any more questions, feel free to DM me or send me a message or comment below. I believe that's what they do, right? In this YouTube stuff, you're like, comment below. All right, cool. Peace out. See you later.
What's going on today? I'm going to be adding my own personal input on Last Line of Defense's video covering vinyl wraps for vehicles. I have a 2018 Tundra. It is a Camber Fox long travel setup. It's also supercharged. It's a blast. And one of the most important things I wanted to do when I started building this vehicle was get it wrapped. Primary reason, protection factor of paint from scratches, pinstripes is what many call it. But also it allows you to change the color of your vehicle without having to literally paint every square inch, whether that be the engine bay, all the jams, all that. That pricing can add up, especially if if it's a quality paint job. One of the things that you should look into when getting your vehicle wrapped is the prep process that your installer is going through, right? So personally, I've had mine done over at Beyond Wraps in Southern California by a guy named Marvin. He's very meticulous on the preparation of the vehicle, whether that be clay bar, removing fenders, removing trim, pulling the bedside or the bed back, especially on trucks, mirrors, handles, all that kind of stuff. So preparation is key, especially to get the imperfections out of the factory paint before you lay the vinyl. The other thing that's important is the material that is used. There's a few big brands. People pick certain ones for certain reasons, but it's gotten a lot better than what it was many years ago. I've had many vehicles wrapped, and currently mine is in a satin anthracite metallic gray. Long name, but absolutely love it. My truck is actually it comes from the factory white. You could probably see it in the video that Mike did a while back, but now it is all the satin anthracite metallic gray. One of the key reasons that vinyl is great for application, especially for off-road, is it's very easily removable. So if you wanted to change the look of your vehicle, it's extremely easy. Now in terms of relation and cost to paint jobs, it all comes with your installer, the material you use, the size of your vehicle, but also on the paint side, how good the paint job is going to be. You are going to spend a few $1,000s, but it does protect your vehicle a lot more, and it hides the scratches depending on the sheen that you choose. I usually go with a satin just because matte can tend to leave fingerprints, whereas gloss can also still start to show pinstripes. The one thing just to keep in mind before you wrap a vehicle is pinstripes and scratches are not as easily corrected as it is on a painted vehicle. Painted vehicle, depending on the severity of the scratch, you can buff it out, fill it with certain polishes and stuff like that. With a vinyl wrap, it's a little bit harder. Yes, you can remove and change this, pull the section that's scratched up and replace it, but that can also add up. So before you go and get your vehicle wrapped, do your research, make sure you pick the right material, make sure you pick the right installer, huge, and then make sure you pick the color that you want. Ideally, most people go, especially if they have the mindset of wrapping their vehicle, they're going to go with a darker base factory paint, just because when you install the vinyl, it's a lot easier to hide the jams compared to having a bright vehicle. I went the opposite, but I also had a really good installer, so I went from just straight snow white to a very dark gray. But Marvin over at Beyond Wraps is a fantastic installer, so you can't really tell that it is a white vehicle. And I forgot to mention, I'm away on work. That's why you can't see the truck. I'm in an office for the next month straight. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm sure Mike will plug the truck somewhere, pictures here and there. And yeah, Mike, thanks for allowing me to be a part of this, man. Hopefully we can link up soon.
Hey, I'm Brad from Trail Recon, and Mike asked me to share a couple quick thoughts about my experience in doing a vinyl wrap. And if I'm being honest, it's something I had been wanting to do for a long time, but the process I didn't understand it. And so it wasn't until I was out at a desert rendezvous where I met a graphic artist who works at a vinyl shop, and he explained to me just how easy it is and cost effective. So I worked with him, took the design that was in my head, and he gave me an awesome rendering. And then I drove to the shop, and within 2 days they had taken all the exterior components off of the Jeep, put the vinyl on, put it back together just as good as new, and it turned out so awesome. I could not be happier with the work they did. So why did I personally choose to do a vinyl wrap? Well, there's two reasons. One, I wanted to personalize it a little bit. So of course I put the Trail Recon logo on the side, but on the hood here I had them put something that was really kind of personal to me, and that is the Mojave National Preserve, a whole map of it, because I just love that place. It's one of my favorite places to explore, and I've just had so many amazing memories out of there. It's just a great place, and now I've got it on the hood for everybody to see it. It's a great conversational piece. The other reason was, well, look, I hit a lot of shrubs and trees and branches when I'm out on the trail, and my paint's got a lot of pinstripes, and so to be able to cover those up and add a little protection was a huge benefit for doing the vinyl wrap. So why might you consider wrapping your vehicle? Well, what if you just want to change the color and you don't want to pay the high premium of a good quality auto body shop to repaint it? Well, I mean, you could take it to a budget shop, but that paint's going to fall off in 2 years. Doing a wrap is a great option if you just want to change the color. And of course, like me, you can personalize your Jeep. You can make it your own and really kind of have a little bit of a statement or some stories to tell. I think it's really limitless on what you can do. Now, a couple things to really consider, and one is the life longevity of a wrap. Now, my understanding is it's not going to last like 10 years like a paint job will. You get about 3 to 5 years out of a vinyl wrap, which if you think about it, in 3 to 5 years, I got to change it up, which means I get to do a whole new design, which is kind of cool. You can continue to be creative with your vehicle. The other thing is durability, and I understand that vinyl wrap is very durable, but I'll be honest with you, I'm always a little hesitant when I'm out on the trail and I see that branch sticking out. I'm afraid it's going to rip right into it. So far, so good. We haven't had any issues, but it's something to think about. The last thing I'll mention is make sure you do your homework and find a shop that's willing to stand behind the quality of their work, because this is a big investment and you want to make sure you're happy with the results. Hey, I hope you've gotten a couple nuggets from what I've experienced and hopefully it was helpful for you. I want to say thanks to Mike for allowing me to talk to the viewers here on Last Line of Defense. Take care, everyone.
I'm Graham from Go Fast Campers, and this is our 2018 Raptor that we had wrapped at a local shop called SCS. This wrap was designed by Andrew Ritter, who's one of the founders of StanceWorks. Now he works at 1552 Wheels. So basically, probably the hardest part initially was to get a good layout, because just a large format design like this is a really challenging thing to do. So I was really stoked to work with somebody who had some really good insight into and experience making things big look nice, if that makes sense. So basically the goal with this wrap was to kind of mimic a 80s, 90s Dakar Baja livery and be able to put product placement and kind of show the sponsors on the truck, but kind of make it look like race inspired and fun, and kind of take that next level of cool factor and not just make it a big brodozer. So the wrap is a really awesome way to do that. It's a lot less commitment than paint. I would say the maintenance is, I try to maintain it really well. So anytime there's bird poop or bugs or any of that kind of stuff, I'll clean it off, and I use a wrap detailer. I mean, it gets dirty all the time, but I try to keep it clean as much as possible. So all these stickers are an overlay. So if we have any issues, we can pull them off and swap them out. One of the things that I have noticed that we drive this thing off-road a ton, and we have a lot of rock chips, even in some pretty limited miles. So it's all covered by dirt right now, but underneath this dirt, if you look close, you can see all these little white marks. And that's basically where rock chips have kind of affected the vehicle wrap. And that's gonna happen with anything, with paint marks, with all that kind of stuff, it's gonna be affected. But yeah, overall, it's been really good. I think I was told to expect kind of a 5-year UV shelf life on it. So I'll probably invest in a car cover and keep it covered when I'm not driving the truck. This isn't my daily driver. So I'll have just a beater to drive around town. And yeah, I'd say if you're looking to do a wrap, probably talk to somebody who's done a lot of these things before. It's a pretty big investment, and having somebody with some experience that's actually gone from this looks cool on paper to this is neat in real life is pretty helpful. And yeah, just take care of it, because it is an investment, and you can keep it looking nice for a long time.
All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Huge thanks to AJ and Travis and Brad and Graham. Sorry, my dog's here pawing at me. He wants some love. Hey, Trey, hi, bud. So that means it's time to wrap up this video and let you guys go and give my dog some attention. Thanks so much for watching it. Take 2 seconds, hit that thumbs up button, really. It does help out. Get subscribed to the channel if you're into truck stuff. I do a lot of mini overlanding trips. I call it Weekender Landing. I have a series called Weekender Lander. Check it out to see this truck and camping and all kinds of stuff in action. Do a lot of gear reviews and that kind of stuff if you're into it. Comment down below if you have questions, or just comment, say hey for the algorithm, because you want to help my channel. Thanks for that. Hit that notification icon too. I always link stuff in the video description down below. So if you want to know what Instagram those guys have, if you want to know accessories and gear, I link to all that stuff. Some of those links are affiliate links, which I always appreciate you using. So if you want to buy anything and you think I'm rad, click those links and go buy it. I also have a Patreon account. That's where you can get more up close and personal with me and ask me questions. I kind of do previews to patrons, and we do a monthly giveaway, and we do a monthly live feed where we just sit down with a small close-knit group of people, and I just kind of talk about what's going on and answer any questions you guys ask, and you kind of help direct the future of what I'm doing on the channel. So that's a cool opportunity to connect if you're into that. Anyway, guys, until next time, take care.